long 16 days since the Florida Panthers hoisted the Stanley Cup, but the wait is over. Hockey is back here in the state of hockey, Edina, Minnesota, Braemar Arena. We bring you night one of Beauty League action here, produced by Youth Hockey Hub. I'm Will Peterson, joined alongside Peter Odney. Anna Baining will join us at ice level later. Peter, it's good to be back in the rink with you, eh?
It is good to be back in the rink. I haven't been out of the rink for very long, but it's nice to see some NHLers, a few college guys, and some young studs out on the ice. It should be a dandy.
We've got a good one for you tonight. Walser and Tria. Walser is jumping out to a fast start here. There's Lindgren down low. Ryan Lindgren working it through into the right wing corner. They'll go and battle for that one. Walser in blue jerseys skating from left to right. Tria in black skating from right to left. Here's Noah Cates down the left wing side. He'll center this one out front. Little tic-tac-toe opportunity comes up to Nate Schmidt. He tries to find Cates at the far post, unable to do so. And they will set back up. Schmidt flips for Merrill. John Merrill going into the corner as the 77s come together. And Merrill will pull it back out once more, now behind the cage, where Casimir Kaskasuo dons a GoPro, presumably filming for his YouTube channel. And back the other way, here's Bryce Brodzinski, and Jake Seibel somehow smothers that one, and we have our first stoppage.
You know, watching Tria in the offensive zone, it's a bit like watching Nijinsky do ballet. Gorgeous, graceful, always in the right place. I think Tria's going to get off to a hot start.
Face-off is to the glove side of Jake Seibel. Heck of a story. He came to the Beauty League out of the DMs, slid into the official Twitter account's DMs, and here he is playing in goal. Not trying to give you folks at home any ideas, but it's out there. Tria working back the other way. Eric Howla, former member of the Minnesota Wild, behind the cage. He'll work it into the corner. Mikey Kester on the far side. Now he'll find Pagansky. Howla again down low. A very spirited cheer from someone in the crowd. Saw someone earlier wearing an Eric Howla jersey. Have to imagine those events are correlated. Bernard Docker will dump this one in. Now played near the Tria bench, back out to center. And this one is flipped to the near side there for Bernard Docker. Easton Brodzinski with it. We've got Easton and Bryce Brodzinski with us tonight. Johnny is not here, but we presume he will be at some point as Oliver Moore gets between the dashes and snaps one off. Jake Seibel made the save. Now that is not an unfamiliar matchup. We saw Oliver Moore face off with Jake Seibel and the Tommies at the XL Energy Center in October. And Moore had a heck of a game, really his first breakout onto the scene in college hockey, a pair of goals, but couldn't beat Seibel that time. Noah Cates centers. Merrill's unable to deflect it on goal. Walser will pick it back up, back the other way with some speed. Justin Braun to the far side, Huglin. And the Roseau, Minnesota native can't get a shot off, but he'll regain possession with it into the neutral zone and flip it to the far side. Now Nate Schmidt, the newly signed Florida Panther, looking to help the boys down in Florida get back to another Stanley Cup final.
When you and I were chatting before the game started, what a nice change of scenery for Nate Schmidt, going from the Paris of Manitoba, Winnipeg, down to the sunny Sunrise, Florida.
Winnipeg to Sunrise. It has to be a top 3 weather change possible in the National League, as Noah Cates briefly holds the zone, now works it back out to neutral. Mikey Kester will enter the zone onside. Into the slot, one-time look on the far side. That one goes high and wide of Kaskasuo. Kester up high. Nice little pass there to the near side. Wolf is unable to get a shot off. Now here's Bryce Brodzinski working back as a half step on his backhand. Pad save made Seibel. Rebound is taken by Kester and he clears. Pagansky cherry picking off the bench. They can't link up. Beautiful touch pass. Here's Wolf and a glove save made by Kaskasuo with the flare, and he keeps it in play.
I'll put that one on the YouTube channel.
I'm sure we'll see some POV footage from that one coming up in the days to come as Howla sets up. One-time look out in front, and a pad save is made there once again by Kaskasuo. Still scoreless here between Walser and Tria 18 and change to go here from Braemar. Shot on, rebound, and they score. Jake Seibel is unable to cover it. And the rebound goal comes out front. Walser has WD League's first goal.
Boy, a soft
and it's
touch.
1-0. Now here's Tria working back, looking to answer a blind drop pass, nobody home, and Moore will link up with his Minnesota teammate Hughlin. They turn it over again. Eric Howell from a sharp angle tries to go top shelf. Kaskasuo will cover, and we get a whistle. So it's 1-0. Walser here early. Sam Malinsky gets the first goal of Djibouti League here in 2024.
Well, I'm sure that the gold helmets out there, Moore and Hughlin, I'd be willing to bet they have more than a few fans here in the crowd.
Merrill up high, his backhand pass is knocked down. It's a 2-on-1 back with Braun and Moore. Braun, backhand shot, save made Seibel. Moore can't get it to go on the rebound. And Tria works back. Stretch pass from Schmidt is deflected. Rao will take over. Drops it off into the slot. And that one turned over again. Walser will work back. It's Lindgren. Icing waved on that one. Tria regains Nate Schmidt, and he scores. The stretch pass finds Nate Schmidt, and he beats Kaskasuo on the blocker side. 16:40 to go here in the first. We are knotted back up at 1.
Boy, Nate Schmidt looking a little bit like my old man league late on Tuesday nights, hovering near that Tria blue line. But hey, if it works, it works.
Oliver Moore looking for the answer, a little spinorama move, can't get a backhanded shot off. And we will come back out to neutral ice. Vinny Lettieri with it. The now former member of the Minnesota Wild, sent in a trade on draft night over to Boston. Bad turnover out front. Oliver Moore off of his breezers.
I think if we sent that one to Toronto, they might give that a second look. But hey, we're not sending anything to Toronto.
He got the shot off the pad of Seibel. Rebound just flutters up into the air. Just kind of knees it into the goal. I'm not even sure if it was so much as a kick, but Oliver Moore gets his first goal of Djibouti League season, and it is 2-1 Walser.
Well, if the fans at home and in the stands are looking for one player to keep an eye on, Oliver Moore, easy choice for me. I think he's going to light it up this summer.
He would be my choice as well. I mean, so many of these guys here, the old season pros, are just out here looking to have a good time, blow off some sweat. Oliver Moore, he's got a little something to prove here, and he has scored the goal to put Walser ahead 2-1.
I love how you say he's got something to prove. The first-round draft pick who's going to play with Connor Bedard, but he's the one who's got something to prove.
The second highest drafted player here in Djibouti League, as Lindgren will send this one up for Lettieri. Now back Lindgren. Walser sets up shop in the offensive zone. First time we've really seen either team have firm control. And call that the announcer's jinx. Now Tria will work back the other way. Noah Cates sends it out for Kester. Right out in front off the rebound. They score.
The old baseball saying, walks will haunt. In hockey, rebounds will haunt.
Jackson Cates that time puts it home right out in front of Kaskasuo. 14 and change to go here in the first half. Knotted back up at 2-2 between Walser and Tria.
Well, if you've ever wondered if these guys are taking it seriously, we just watched Nate Schmidt start moving some chess pieces around the board prior to the face-off. Tell me he doesn't want to win this.
Coming up on 14 to go here. Good one between Walser and Tria. Night one of Djibouti League here in the league's 10th season. Lettieri tries to go up blocker side high on Seibel, but misses high. And of course, new this year, we're going to have a women's game. Here's Bernard Docker back the other way, goes to the forehand, and he scores. Jacob Bernard Docker puts the moves on Seibel, gets it to go down low, and Walser jumps back out in front. It's 3-2.
If you're a fan of defense, Bernard Docker would be a player to keep an eye on. More at forward. Bernard Docker on the blue line, the former first-round pick of the Ottawa Senators. He could end up being a stud for the next 6 weeks.
3-2 Walser lead, looking to add more as Hughlin works in to the corner. Regains control again, right out front. It was Easton Brodzinski slipping in behind that time, but the save is made by Seibel. Under 13 to go.
Seibel showing why he was the 2021 Null Goalie of the Year. How many goaltenders playing in Beauty League can claim that prize?
We talked about Seibel coming up out of the DMs. Is this one centered out front? Nice save there made as he goes post to post to Rob Aaron Hughlin, but he's also a guy who kind of grinded through junior hockey. Started out in the NA3, made his way to the Null, and now landed himself a Division I roster spot over at St. Thomas. Hughlin tries to put the moves on John Merrill. That's not going to work too many times. And now it's Howla on the backhand. Tries to connect with Schmidt out front. It goes too wide. It'll be taken into the corner now by Bernard Docker once more. Here's Braun. Up ahead, drop pass for Hughlin. He's got all kinds of space, and Seibel stifles him with the right pad. Merrill with it again. Stretch pass too far for Rao. They'll let it go on, no icing called. Kaskasuo will drop it off. And now Walser back into the zone. Oliver Moore works his way into the corner. Leaves it behind for Brodzinski. Now to the near side, Braun. As Walser continues to ping-pong it around the zone. Now a pass goes off a skate, and they'll be forced to retreat.
Uh-oh.
Noah Cates might have been offside. They'll let it play. He was in with Howla, and neither of them can get a shot off, but Tria will hold the zone. Down low, beautiful one-touch goal for Eric Howla. Boy, a good find up high from Mikey Kester, but Eric Howla with the tip drill. Gets it to go past Kaskasuo. Under 11 to go. Knotted back up at 3.
Let me tell you something about Mikey Kester. He might have it all right now. He might be a stud coming up through the farm system, but he's still working on his game. We saw him at the U earlier this week. He's doing the jog around Mariucci. He's playing all those small area games on the ice with the other pros. He is working it this summer.
Tied back up at 3 off a goal from former Wild member Eric Howla, and just like that, Tria jumps out to a lead as it's Jackson Cates with his second of the night. 4-3 Tria. They are coming in bunches here early from Braemar. 4-3 with over 10 to go in the first half. We are on pace for a double-digit goal night on each side. They might add another. Jackson Cates looking for the hat trick. Finds his brother Noah out front. It's intercepted. Now here is Walser working back. Letary down the right wing side. Roofs that one into the protective netting. We will pause. Under 10 to go. Tria with back-to-back goals. They lead at 4-3.
Aesthetically, the black netting, not everybody's favorite, but in terms of actually protecting people's brains, it does a great job.
Off the draw, they go to work in the corner. Bad D-zone turnover as Letary's down there to work at it. Bernard Docker unable to get a stick on it, so Walser will retreat. Bryce Brodzinski now finds Malinsky. Rimmed all the way around to the far side. John Merrill for Nate Schmidt, and now up Noah Cates. Here's Jackson Cates, dropped for Merrill. Tic-tac-toe play doesn't work out. Under 9 to go. Tria with the puck here. Noah Cates from the right point. Now here's Schmidt. Jackson Cates thought about working out of the zone and going for the change, but he'll flip it in. John Merrill on the left wing half wall. Gets it out. Jackson Cates at the near post. Swings it around for Schmidt, now finds a cutting Paganski, and he'll weave his way around the goal. Centering pass broken up by Bernard Docker. He'll go geometrically to Lettieri. Now one escapes his reach, and it's shoveled up for Paganski.
Call it a gut feeling, but I got a goal for Paganski coming up.
Well, we'll follow up on that one, Peter. Our first goal call of the year here at Beauty League. Peter Odney has pushed his chips to the middle of the table. We'll see if the bet pays off.
If I win, you owe me a hot dog.
That's a fair bet. I can only honor that.
On your salary, you should be able to afford it.
Now here's Hughlin. Centering pass, Lindgren with the snipe. Glove side high on Seibel. Beautiful goal for Ryan Lindgren. Walser ties this one up.
Boy, for whom the bell tolls, what a shot. Got some nice sound effects there going off the iron.
Back the other way, it's Kyle Rao. As we have some audio difficulties here in Braemar, a few of the fans jump back out of their seat. Aaron Hughlin with it on his forehand, under 7 to play now.
Aaron Hughlin skating so fast his nameplate is falling off. Looks a little bit like a miniature cape.
Lindgren just biffed an open net, nearly had back-to-back goals. But we play on. We've gotten this far into the broadcast, and we haven't even mentioned the Dick's House of Sport double puck that will come into play evidently at some point here whenever either coach flips the goal lamp on their bench. We will have a 2-minute power play put up on the board, and any goal scored in that period counts as double for the team that triggered it. So definitely something that will come into play here late in the game.
I got to tell you, Will, my wedding's coming up in October, and I think I'm more excited for the double puck. I think it's certainly going to be cheaper,
I'm
but much more
excited
exciting
for this 2-on-0. Back the other way, Oliver Moore, backhand tip goal. What do we say? Oliver Moore playing with some hunger. It's his second of the night. Off the feed from Easton Brodzinski. Blown coverage there by Tria. Allowed the 2-on-0. And the former St. Cloud State Husky, Easton Brodzinski, links up with the current Minnesota Gopher, Oliver Moore. And it is 5-4 Walser.
It's nice to see they could set their differences aside for a few weeks.
Bernard Docker for Bryce Brodzinski now. Tried to find more out front. We saw that connection a few times last year for Minnesota. Here's Eric Howla. Tries to get it through on the one-timer. Merrill will clean up the scraps. Now here's Howla, 5-hole. Got Kaskasuo to make a guess, and he guessed wrong. Eric Howla, his second of the night, tied back up at 5.
Now, if Kaskasuo was an ethical content creator, he would also include giving up goals like that.
We are tied at 5. Eric Howla, his second of the night. He joins Oliver Moore and Jackson Cates as the skaters with multiple goals. Malinsky with it, mixing it up with Oliver Moore in the corner. Kaskasuo will poke at that one. And now it's Bryce Brodzinski up ahead for Moore. Oliver Moore to the back door. Brodzinski can't connect, and he banks it off the back of Seibel. Bryce Brodzinski, that's one way to get on the board. And it gives Walser the 6-5 lead here late in the first.
What a heads-up play by Brodzinski. You know how you know he's a rink rat? He scores goals like that.
6-5 Walser, as this torrid scoring pace continues here in our opening act of the Beauty League. Braun behind, looks to center. Hughlin puts it home.
Well, the fellas had me worried after the first 5 minutes, a scoreless game, but holy Hannah, they've been piling it on.
Aaron Hughlin with his first of the night, and now 7-5 Walser. Walser will reset here, under 3.5 to play. To the far side for Lettieri. Vinny Lettieri looking to join the scoring party. As this one comes out to the blue line, Braun will take it for Walser. No look pass to the near side, Lindgren. And Seibel manages to make the shoulder save. Tria works back. Jackson Cates intercepted, kicked at by Lettieri. Heavy pressure from Jackson Cates, playing a real 200-foot game here in the Beauty League. Not something you see all too often, but we do appreciate the effort. Belinsky over the line. Through pass is knocked out of the air by a high stick.
Well, if the league handed out a Selke Award, Jackson Cates would be the front runner right now.
We have a lost nameplate as, like you mentioned earlier, Aaron Huglin's nameplate was a little bit loose and has officially come off and now is being stuck to the back glass of the bench. So we will have a nameless number 7, but hard not to recognize the Roseau, Minnesota native when he's out on the ice.
Oh, without the cape, let's see if he stays Superman or if he reverts to Clark Kent.
Well, he dishes this one up high. That shot goes wide. And it's taken again by Huglin. Let's see if he can pull it off without a name on his back. He drops it off for Lettieri, who tries to pull the same move as we saw earlier, banking off the back. This time it's unsuccessful as Seibel shuts the door. Now Bernard Docker for Lettieri. Minute 39 to go. Pocket is picked. Here we go. Kyle Rao. Save made Kaskasuo. The Walser back line has really tightened up within the last 6 or 7 minutes. Kaskasuo shuts the door and retains the 2-goal lead. Oliver Moore with the hands. He's stripped. Nate Schmidt back.
I'll take that, rookie.
Up high, Merrill. On his forehand. Works it down low. Now drops it off for Schmidt. Backhand flip to the far side, Arakawa. Rao down low. Tria with it. Centered out front. Goes wide of Kaskasuo. Another look as Merrill pokes at it. Now it's Moore with it. Malinsky. Tria looking to pull this game back within a goal before we head to break. Oliver Moore looks to stretch it to a 3-goal lead. 30 seconds to go now. Moore, right out front, they score. Boy, a picture-perfect opportunity right there as Oliver Moore sets it up on a tee, and it's 8-5 Walser.
No smile from Moore after the goal. All business 23 minutes in.
Justin Braun, the recipient of that tap in, makes it 8-5 as the seconds tick down and we head to half. So a solid back and forth first half of play with Walser really picking things up as we headed towards the break. It is 8-5 Walser at the break. And we are going to take a break here momentarily and hear from Anna Baining down at ice level as we get situated here. Anna Baining at ice level with Nate Schmidt.
I'm here with the captain of Team Tria, Nate Schmidt. Nate, how many summers have you been playing in the Beauty League? You seem like a veteran.
They can't get rid of me. That's what the idea is. No, I think this is 6 or 7, whatever the first year was, that was me. So
every summer.
However long it's been, every summer.
And what makes you keep coming back?
Honestly, it's just for the kids. I enjoy being around the guys. It's always fun, but it's fun seeing the kids and how excited they get when we come on the ice and provide a little bit of fun when it's blistering hot outside.
And you think it does help you in the regular season just to get on the ice at all?
Especially when you're playing against really good players. Especially this year, the team's a little smaller, teams are a lot better. Extra pro guys around it makes it more difficult. So it's not always easy in your first game of the year to come out and play here, but here we are.
We're in the off season now. What does a typical day in the life of Nate Schmidt in the off season look like?
Oh gosh, usually wake up about 20 minutes before my alarm because my son's yelling at me. No, it's just a workout, a skate, maybe a little bit of golf, pickleball. I've been playing beach sand volleyball. I mean, anything I can do to stay athletic and have some fun.
And you're from St. Cloud. Is that where you reside in the summer months?
No, I live between Las Vegas and here, so I do a little bit of travel, a little bit of both. So
will you be at every night at the Beauty League? Oh, you gotta go.
I'll be there.
Well, there you have it. Nate Schmidt, fresh out of the interview, heads back to join the defensive battle here as the second half is underway. Here from Braemar, 8-5, Walser over Tria. And at this time, we would like to remind you, Walser is a multi-generational family business that is still family-owned and operated today. Family is Walser's #1 employee core value. #2 is faith, and #3 is growth. They employ over 1,900 people across 28 dealerships and their corporate operations. Walser's negotiation-free experience means everyone always gets a great price. The one-person, one-price sales model ensures a fast and easy car buying experience. Nearly all new and used Walser vehicles come with Walser Care, a complimentary limited powertrain warranty, and you can check out walser.com to learn more. On the other side, Tria is proud to provide world-class orthopedic and sports medicine care for the athletes in the Beauty League. Whether you're a professional athlete or weekend warrior, you'll get the same expert orthopedic care when you're treated by Tria. Schedule online today at tria.com. And the Tria back line collapses there. Walser strikes first here in the second half. It's 9-5.
Will, I think you did a great job with those sponsor reads. I didn't understand a word that you just said. All I know is that if I'm sick, I'm going to Tria. If I need a car, I'm going to Walser. Simple as that.
There you have it. Hat trick complete for Oliver Moore while we were hearing from our sponsors. And it is a 4-goal lead now for the boys in blue. Walser was a popular choice for our poll of who won the draft. Walser came in first, Anderson in second, and I don't want to put a chip on Element's shoulder, but they polled at less than 5%, so they're going to be playing with something to prove here in our nightcap.
You know what? I'm Team Element. Make it a hashtag. Get me a t-shirt. Give me a funny hat. I'm Team Element all the way.
You know who else is Team Element? A lot of the fans here in attendance tonight, because the fine folks at Element are giving one of these lucky fans a 55-inch TV. There's a QR code out in the lobby, Peter. I don't know if you saw this, but
55 inches.
55 inches. That'll cover a lot of ground.
It's more than 54.
Bryce Brodzinski, far side corner. Now out front for the nameless Aaron Hughlin. As he flips it to the far side for Ryan Lindgren.
What a pass by Lindgren.
Bryce Brodzinski to the far side. Sharp angled look that time from Braun. And fresh off the bench, here's Eric Howla. Looking for the Hattie. Passes it up. Back to Howla. A third pass. And Nate Schmidt fires that one into the shoulder of Kaskasuo. The net comes off its moorings. And as I say that, I am inclined to remind the folks at home that mooring is probably the #1 hockey terminology word of all time.
Mooring?
Mooring.
Why? What makes it #1?
It's a heck of a word.
I like that. I like that word a lot.
Mooring.
Probably one of my top 5 words.
It's a great word.
It's right up there with puck and stick and Oliver Moore.
19 and counting to go here from Braemar. Game 1 of 3 here in week 1 of the Beauty League, Walser and Tria. We will have Tradition Mortgage versus Tradition Capital Bank in our women's matchup as Oliver Moore finds Letary. The third pass for Lindgren is broken up, and Tria works back, and then Anderson and Element will be our nightcap. John Merrill really sold the shot there, got Kaskasuo sliding, but he reaches back to make the glove save.
That women's matchup you mentioned, Tradition versus Tradition, the storied rivalry. One for the books. They'll write a poem about it when it's over.
Nate Schmidt tried to get it down low for Hell. Ended up being a shot on goal as Kaskasuo sends it away. Howla with it again. Schmidt for Merrill. Prime spot out front. And he sends that one over the shoulder of Kaskasuo. Goes high. Rao for Merrill. More backhand pass the other way for Letary. Tries to feed it through on the back door. That one broken up. Now up high for Bernard Docker. Oliver Moore, strong backhand pass to Letary. Save made by Cybel. Nate Schmidt is cherry picking. Will he be rewarded? Yes, sir.
What an example for all the youth players in the audience. Hang out at the opposing team's blue line. Take your time and score.
Kaskasuo got the stick on it, but it bounces off of the inside crossbar. And Tria pulls it back within 3. Nate Schmidt, his second of the night, and Tria's 6 goals have all come from the same 3 players, Howla, Jackson Cates, and Nate Schmidt. Mikey Kessler looking to get his name on the score sheet, unable to do so as Kaskasuo makes the glove save.
Kester like Huglin without a nameplate. What is it about Gophers and not being able to hang on to their names?
And we know it's not for NIL purposes. That has been rectified. Guys are allowed to be here. No malfeasance. Noah Cates. Kaskasuo starting to waver a little bit here. Noah Cates finds some green grass and puts it home. And it is now 7-9.
Well, you said malfeasance. That was goaltending malpractice there. 90% of the net was open.
Easton for Bryce Brodzinski. And the scoreboard here at Braemar shows 10-6. They're trying to get the attention to fix it here, and it will be taken care of momentarily. Easton for Bryce up high. I like playing the first name game when guys have multiple players with the same last name. Got to do it back in Hermantown with Zam and Max, George and Henry. Now here on the big stage, Noah Jackson, Easton and Bryce.
We haven't even made it through the first game, and you managed to bring up Hermantown.
I promised the boys back home they'd get some airtime.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Walser with it. Bryce Brodzinski tips it in. Tria with it again. As it's Noah dropping it for Jackson, who drops it for Mitchell Wolf, and they can't get a shot off.
So if Tria loses this game, how awkward do you think the car ride is for Noah and Jackson?
I don't think it's quite as bad as if their father was in the car with them, because that was always a drive you dreaded as a kid, going home with dad after a bad loss.
Well, not my dad. He never played. You
Mine,
couldn't tell me anything.
Not mine either. Easton Brodzinski rings the iron. As this one is bumped out through center. Poked up ahead for Nate Schmidt. As Tria's starting to get their swagger back here. They're back within 2 goals. And they're playing like they smell blood in the water. Here's Huglin. Save made Cybel. Rebound is loose there for a moment. Jackson Cates is able to shovel it for Merrill. Dishes it back to Jackson. Now this one fed through, looking for Nate Schmidt that time. Pagansky sent it across. And here's Moore. Moore through the legs for Huglin. Into the slot. Glove save made Cybel. Huglin again. Intercepted by Merrill. Mama, there goes that man. Nate Schmidt again. Off the post. He was 2 for 2 on the breakaways. Now he's 2 for 3. The perfect streak is snapped, and Nate Schmidt narrowly misses a chance to put his team within a 1-goal game.
Well, on the plus side, even though we missed that breakaway, he'll have plenty of energy for another breakaway, probably in about 30 to 40 seconds.
Seibel covers this one up. Coming up on 13 and a half to go here in the second half.
Will, right now I see one of my favorite players out on the ice, Mitchell Wolf from Andover. Number 1, he's got a window on, he's got a visor. And number 2, I've loved Mitchell since 2017 when he laid somebody out during Bantam Elite League play. Ever since then, for almost a decade, I've been a Mitchell Wolf guy.
There you have it. Peter on his Mitchell Wolf soapbox here from Braemar as Oliver Moore cuts down the right wing side. Huglin will send it down low, right out front. They score. Boy, that really could not have gone any better for Bernard Docker as he's Johnny on the spot, rifles it up high, and Walser back up by 3.
When it comes to painting a beautiful picture, Rembrandt is a hack compared to Bernard Docker.
Twelve and a half to go here. 10-7 Walser over Tria. Mikey Kester gets it through for Pagansky. Back for Kester. To the far side, Wolf. Now down low, back for Kester. That shot is waffleboard into the protective netting by Kaskasuo.
Boy, what more could you ask for? A great game, 17 goals with 12 minutes to go. Look at all the young fans around in the crowd. This is fantastic. If you're a hockey fan with Coca-Cola taste but Diet Shasta money, you can come to Braemar Ice Arena and see all the stars.
Walser leading Tria by a field goal here. Both teams have a touchdown as it is 10-7. Howla down low. Noah Cates unable to capitalize. Walser will knife their way through. It's Lettieri for Braun. Out front, Lettieri scores. Vinny Lettieri with his first of the evening. One of the few Walser players that isn't on the score sheet. 11-7.
That's Vinny with an I, ladies and gentlemen. Learn how to spell the name because he's going to be doing that all summer.
11-7 here. Would not be surprised to see Tria use the hot puck here. The Dick's House of Sport double puck. As that would, in essence, defray their lead from 4-2. They only need 2 goals with the double puck to tie it up. A little play on. Nate Schmidt from between the dashes. That one goes wide. Now we'll look for Easton Brodzinski. Seibel comes out to play it and finds Eric Howla. Spinning and firing one to center for Noah Cates. Now here's Schmidt. Merrill for Schmidt. Shot is blocked by the skate of Braun. Howla for Merrill. Lost the handle as Lettieri will take it back in his own end. Now work his way across the line. Vinny Lettieri once again banks it off the back of Seibel. Boy, that has been an area of weakness for Jake Seibel all night. And Tria, or check that, Walser goes back to the well for a third time. 12-7, and they're pouring it on.
You know, Jake Seibel might want to hit up some of these NHLers for a credit card to buy a pair of eyeballs for the back of his head. That's twice. And that's bounced off him and in.
Vinny Lettieri with consecutive goals now for Walser. John Merrill back the other way. Goes off the crossbar. Lettieri looking for the natural hat trick. Feeds it through for Brodzinski. And that one flutters off his stick. Jackson Cates now. For Rao. Merrill. Working inside, now a backhand out for Wolf. Cuts to the net, scores! Boy, nice burst of speed there for Mitchell Wolf. Peter, I see why he's your favorite. It's his first of the night. Tria back within 4.
That won't be his last of the night. It won't be his last, I promise you. I am also looking for a hot puck here. I don't know how long they want to wait for it.
Again, the lead back to 4. So the hot puck for Tria makes this more or less a 2-goal game. And we'll see how long they wait to flip the switch as the seconds are starting to tick here for the boys in black to get back into this one. Malinsky with a nice opportunity from in the slot. Save is made by Seibel. Wolf gets it out ahead. Now the stretch pass for Kester. Score. Mikey Kester, welcome to the score sheet. Goal number 9 for Tria. Back within 3.
Mikey Kester scored his fair share of goals here at Braemar Arena coming up through the Chaska-Chan Youth Organization. Just add one more to the mantle.
Jackson Cates wins the draw. Tria playing with a little more swagger now. Kester trying to go back to the well. Kaskasuo strategically maybe pushes the net off, but gets it back on.
Veteran move.
Always wondered why goalies didn't do that more.
Because I think you develop a bit of a reputation, and then players might not put on the brakes when they're going full tilt at your head.
Fair point. Kester picks the pocket. Can't cash. Now here's Lindgren. Ryan Lindgren threads it through for Brodzinski. The return feed, it was a good idea, but the execution.
Execution is 9/10 of the law.
That's what they say. Hughlin with it. Pulls it out to center. The drop back for Malinsky. We have the hot puck, the Dick's House of Sport double puck for Tria. And it is up on the board, 1:50 to go.
We are only 10 seconds into the first hot puck, and it is everything I ever wanted it to be as the puck comes out of the zone.
Bernard Docker flips for Howla. Here's a look. Howla winds it up. Kaskasuo with the save. Diving attempt on the rebound. Nate Schmidt with it now. Howla can't put it home. Tria is pressing here. They know the stakes. They know that one goal will count for 2, and they'll be right back in this game. Merrill with it. Pulls it up high. Noah Cates. Centering look. Beautiful pad save by Kaskasuo.
Oh my gosh, they got to line it up. They got to go. Oh, they stopped it.
Eric Howla was right there on the doorstep. Kaskasuo sticks out that right pad. And a huge, huge save made here as the clock will stop during the double puck. 5:47 to go, 1:03 remaining on the double puck opportunity. Mitchell Wolf with it. Down for Noah Cates. Howla can't put it home. Wolf tries to bat at it. Now at the right post it sits loose. Lindgren will bump this one ahead. Oliver Moore closing in on Seibel. Seibel is able to get it out. 40 seconds left on the hot puck. Noah Cates for Howla. Back through for Noah, and he can't get a backhand shot on goal. 30 seconds to go here on the double puck. Would be a massive, massive blow to the Tria momentum if they're not able to get one here. Braun looking for what would be the DBL equivalent of a shorthanded goal. And if you look to your right, Peter, we have Eric Howla cherry picking with 8 seconds to go on the double puck. He might not get the opportunity to.
He and Nate Schmidt have obviously been talking on the bench. Smart play.
The double puck is over. Easton Brodzinski puts it home.
Assisted by who else? Oliver Moore. If the Blackhawks were looking for any insurance that they made the right choice tonight, has rubber stamped his first round status.
Easton Brodzinski finds the back of the net, and after Tria can't go for the double puck. This one all but over. It's a 4-goal lead with 4 to play. And now Walser has triggered the double puck, just looking to pour it on. With 4:05 to go here in the second half, the clock will once again stop on the face-off here. Minute 51 remaining of double puck time for Walser. And should this score hold, Walser off to a big start here in Beauty League play, moved to 1-0 in the standings. Jackson Cates, pad save made by Kaskasuo.
Oh, no.
Now Bernard Docker up ahead, too far for Letary. We will get icing here, 3:45 to go.
Did they just call icing?
They did. I think they tightened it up a little bit when the double puck is going.
Oh, jeez. Well, if they pick and choose when they want to tighten it up, I'm glad these guys aren't building me a house.
Face off to the blocker side of Kaskasuo. Kester up high. Merrill mixing it up with Brodzinski. Now Kyle Rao. Merrill has it bounce off the heel of his stick. Bryce Brodzinski with it. Minute 5 remaining on the double puck. This one is deflected off into the corner. Letary will play it there. Brodzinski in the slot. Takes a crazy carom off the glass. And right there to put it home is Vinny Letary.
Just about when I was going to ask, what is it about the hot puck that causes teams to not score goals? Vinny Letary.
Vinny Letary with his 3rd goal of the evening. I don't know if they mark him down for 4 in the score sheet, but he has found the back of the net 3 times and has given his team 4 goals, and it is 15-9 Walser. Looking to add to it is Bryce Brodzinski with 18 seconds remaining on the double puck. Braun, Letary, Lindgren, Letary.
If you do get credit for 2 goals if you score with a hot puck, there are going to be a lot of guys lobbying for this rule to be implemented in the NHL for contract reasons.
Braun into the corner. The hot puck has expired. Both teams have exhausted their use of it. Lindgren with it, tries to get it through to Letary, and they can't connect. Well, 15-9, under 2 minutes to go. I think we are safe to call this one for Walser.
You got to believe in something,
Pagansky with it. Howla sends it on as Kaskasuo sweeps it aside. Again, don't go anywhere, folks. Coming up next, we have the women's game tonight. Tradition Capital Bank, Tradition Mortgage, 2 rosters that are chock full with PWHL and NCAA talent. As here's Howla putting on an exhibition, and he tangles up with Kaskasuo. They go for a little bear hug in the goal, and Kaskasuo shuts the door with 1:19 to go here from Braemar.
Will, this is the Beauty League. We throw rationality and pessimism out the window because the Beauty League makes hockey fun. So you know what? I think they're going to score 6 and tie it up.
I hope you're right, Peter, because the overtime rules here in the Beauty League are absolutely nuts. If you're not familiar, if you ever played the practice game 3 puck, where pucks are lined up either inside of the center ice face-off circle or in this case on the blue line, basically it is a continuous shootout. Whoever scores all 3 first wins. Absolute pandemonium. Hope we get to see that here tonight. Hope we get to see that many, many more times as we cover all 10 weeks of the Beauty League here. Kester for Noah Cates, drops it for Rao. Across the crease. Noah Cates with it again. 25 ticks to go here.
Okay, now with 20 seconds left, you might be able to call it. All right, I stand corrected.
Tria just cycling through the zone here. Merrill's shot goes wide. Rao will flip it up. Huglin lets it die, and that will do it for game one of the 2024 Beauty League season. Walser holds on to win it 15-9, and we await the decision on player of the game. Oliver Moore is your player of the game. 3 goals, 2 assists, as announced by the Minnesota Wild's Adam Abrams. Oliver Moore is your player of the game. The incoming sophomore from the University of Minnesota now signs a player of the game puck, and he will flip it up to a lucky fan here. And a child in the first row secures that one. Hold on to it, as Oliver Moore surely will make that a worthwhile investment here at the Beauty League. Peter, the Zamboni is on. Game 1 complete. What do you know?
I know that we are officially here, and you're going to be hearing these voices for the next 10 weeks. Do with it what you will.
Well, there you have it. Peter couldn't have said it any better. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to take a short break as Nate Schmidt skates off the ice with a child in tow.
Oh my gosh, go slow.
When we return, it is Traditionum Capital Bank and Tradition Mortgage in the all-women's matchup here tonight. It's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. It's the Beauty League Hockey here from Edina, Minnesota. Well, here we go. They pulled a little switcheroo on us. It is not the women's game up next. We have the second men's game. This time it is Element and it is Anderson facing off. Will Peterson back here on the call alongside Peter Odney. Anna Baining will join us down at ice level in a bit. Game one is come and gone. And coming out with the lead, or coming out with the win, was Walser. And now we are set to go for game number two. Element is skating from left to right in the blue and gold. Anderson from right to left in white, blue, and gray. Tommy Novak already making his presence felt. Drops it for Bobby Brink, who rings the crossbar, goes up into the low-hanging rafters here from Braemar. We're off to a hot start here, Peter.
I would say so. Another youth player from Minnesota, Bobby Brink, well familiar. Is that even a term, well familiar? Familiar with the friendly confines of Braemar Ice Arena. I'd say look for Bobby Brink to have a big game tonight.
Dom Toninato in the mix down low. Remember him from those UMD days and, of course, his time at Duluth East.
Your favorite player?
I wouldn't go that far. No shade to Dom. Great player. Loved watching him. He's top 25.
I'm sure he's thrilled.
Another Duluth native, Derek Forbert, has that pass intercepted. Jack Becker works back. In with Bowlby. Bowlby with it up ahead. Now a stretch pass, and our referee, Jim Carroll, got in the way of that one. Draw some groans from the crowd.
That one was all Jim's fault. All Jim's fault.
Jim, of course, the longtime public address announcer of the Minnesota State Boys High School Hockey Tournament, a local legend around these parts, and tonight he puts on the stripes for Beauty League.
The whole family of legends. Brother Mike is the women's hockey head coach at Gustavus, one of the top women's programs in the country at the Division III level. Throw a rock in a hockey rink, chances are you'll hit one or two Carols.
Ben Myers with it down low. Former Minnesota Golden Gopher. Now here's Garrett Shifsky, the Andover Husky, gets our game's first goal. Boy, it's been a while since I've got the pleasure of seeing Garrett Shifsky out on the ice, but what a pleasure it is. Goal number one of Anderson's season.
You can't miss Shifsky out there. He's got the winged helmet, University of Michigan. I think he made the correct decision leaving the state for college.
Well, you might be able to miss him. He's only 5'9".
I'm 5'9". What are you trying to say here?
No comment. Garrett Shifsky, first goal of the season for Anderson, the University of Michigan stud. And right back the other way, Nikita Pavlshev, how you doing? 1-1, Element answers right back. Nikita Pavlshev, the only native Russian in Beauty League this year, but makes his presence felt here early.
Actually, I think that was my favorite player in this entire league, Dennis Shalowski.
Was it? Shalowski?
I hope so. Otherwise, the PA guy and myself are wrong.
Well, there you have it. It's not Pavlshev. I saw the last seven. Dennis Shalowski with the first goal for Element. And now looking to make it a second down low is Mac Byers, the University of St. Thomas stud. Unable to get that one past. The goaltender, Hunter Miska, in goal for Anderson, wearing jersey number 69. Spent last year overseas in Germany, where he's played the last two seasons after a brief stint stateside in the Colorado Avalanche organization. Back the other way, unable to cash in on the breakaway attempt was Travis Boyd, who just recently signed a one-year deal with the Minnesota Wild.
Hopkins boy.
Not too many of those Hopkins hockey players. Real diamond in the rough there.
No, but if this were the basketball Beauty League, we would be swimming in Hopkins.
Bobby Brink's pass up high for Matt Anderson. Bounces off the tip of his stick. Here's Bowlby for Anderson. Save made by Troy Grosnick. Now we have a lot of Minnesota Wild ties in this game because Troy Grosnick back in goal just signed a one-year deal with the Iowa Wild to provide some goaltender depth. He slides across the crease on this one to keep the puck out. Of course, the Wild have a decision to make with what they want to do with Philip Gustafson, but if they want to call up Jesper Wallstedt, Grosnick figures to become the everyday starter down in Iowa.
Nice pull, Will.
Appreciate that.
Nice pull.
It's a lot of hours on elite prospects, Peter, and every now and then it pays off. Up high, here's Vesel. Into the middle, Caitlin Addison, another former Minnesota Wild player, all decked out in his San Jose Sharks gear tonight.
Considering the prospects San Jose has in the pipeline, I think Caitlin Addison is just fine moving to the Bay Area.
In a good spot for sure. Of course, Macklin Celebrini, number 1 overall pick this year. Will Smith, an elite young prospect. Things, for once, are looking up in San Jose. Another place they're looking up is in Chicago, where Wyatt Kaiser is making his career as he sends this one up and out of play. Kaiser, another Andover guy. He's out there with Shifsky. Nice for them to share the ice once again.
You know, all the attention goes to Bedard, and it goes to Moore, and it goes to Frank Nazar in that Chicago pipeline. But for my money, I think Wyatt Kaiser is one of those underrated prospects who's gotten kind of lost in those superstar names. I think Wyatt Kaiser is going to make an NHL impact sooner rather than later.
The former UMD Bulldogs sent this one down to the corner. Element will turn back the other way. Henry Bowlby down the left wing side for Schalowski, fresh off of Element's first goal of the 2024 season, looking to add another for Ben Myers up high. Boy, Peter, do you remember the Ben Myers sweepstakes after the 2021 season? He was the most coveted NCAA free agent, ended up signing with the Colorado Avalanche to make a late season playoff push there.
Boy, he is a fantastic example of patience and picking your spot. He and another player that comes to mind in that same vein is Leighton Rode from Bemidji State. Rode went, I believe, undrafted, and it turned out to work out really well for him. He could kind of pick where he wanted to go and know that he was wanted in that organization as opposed to simply being a late-round dart throw.
Ben Myers, Delano, Minnesota. Spent some time at the XL Energy Center competing in the state tournament. Now competing under the bright lights of Braemar Arena here on a Wednesday night in July. Here's Anderson. Toninato streaking in, tries to go down low, and the save is made by Grosnick. Or did that one go in? It's
okay,
a goal.
there's the horn.
Boy, we did not get a signal from Jim Carroll. Thought Grosnick might have been able to make the save there. But Dom Toninato, go crazy Duluth. 2-1 Anderson.
Jim Carroll showing why his middle name is Subtle, because I think everybody in the building may have missed that goal point.
Toninato with it. Corbett across the crease. Chesley scores. Boy, Anderson is showing early why so many people picked them as their team to beat in the preseason here. Ryan Chesley, the Minnesota Golden Gopher, makes it 3-1.
The score might be 3-1, but I am still hashtag Team Element. I'm saying it again, make a t-shirt, make a hat. I'm Team Element at the end of the day.
3-1 Anderson. Ryan Chesley, the Washington Capitals prospect, finds the back of the net. As Element looks for an answer here, Tommy Novak at the right circle. Novak left wing side stick save made there by Hunter Miska.
According to our stat sheet, Hunter Miska, one of the notes here is only NHLer from North Branch ever. So the race is on to rename the town of North Branch to Miska.
Pavlshev with it down the left wing side. Miska lunges out of his crease to poke at that one. Kalen Addison and his aquamarine helmet streak down the left wing, and he turns it over up high. Boy, Anderson's puck movement and offense on full display here early with the lead, but then you remember they're missing their captain in Brock Nelson, who we expect to join us next week and in the weeks to come. But this is a very, very good hockey team, folks.
I wonder where Brock is this week. I don't doubt he had something important to do, but I don't know what it is.
Probably up at the lake. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds pretty good right now.
No.
The rink is cold. It's warm outside.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Bolby stretch pass too far for Novak. Boy, Hunter Miska showing off some stick handling there. He deked Novak and holds it for himself. Shifsky pokes it ahead. Kalen Addison, left circle. Shifsky in the slot. Here goes Ben Myers. Stick save made, rebound save. Hunter Miska shuts the door not once but twice and keeps this a 2-goal game.
Hunter Miska is rapidly going to become a fan favorite. Not only does he play the puck like a forward, he makes saves like that, and he's wearing the same number as Doug Glatt, the character from Goon, which I've never seen, but I know his name is Doug Glatt.
We spotted a Doug Glatt jersey earlier here today. You never know what you're going to see at the rink, especially here in DBL. There are some crazy, crazy pieces of fan memorabilia that you'll see in the concourse here at Braemar. Ben Myers will settle it down. I tell you what, this game doesn't quite have that torrid back-and-forth scoring that we saw in Game 1. These sides playing with a little bit more pace. Myers with it. They're getting to the dirty areas a little bit more.
This game's a little bit more like a documentary as opposed to the action thriller we just watched. And we're talking a Ken Burns documentary, 4.5 hours.
Chesley with it. So if this is a documentary, does that make us the National Geographic voice people?
No, it makes us the idiots who watch documentaries on Netflix, of which I am incredibly proud of my status as having watched 1 million Netflix documentaries.
Face off to the glove side of Troy Grosnick. Toninato with it in the corner. Up high for Corbett. His shot deflected into the corner. Now Element looks to break back. 10.5 to go here from Braemar. 3-1 Anderson over Element here to Beauty League. Night 1 action. Game 2 of 3 coming up. We have our women's matchup between Tradition Capital and Tradition Mortgage as Bobby Brink backhands this one out front. Another big save made there by Miska on the back door.
Well, I can't help but get excited for the all-women's game coming up. The storied rivalry of Tradition versus Tradition. It's right up there with Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Anderson with it. Toninato looking to send it up high. Element looking for some sort of offensive punch. Just the 1 goal here about 14 minutes into the play as Corbett will send it ahead for Dom Toninato.
Bobby Brink unable to get that shot off. Dad Andy might be in the crowd here, and I know he's making mental notes. I'm sure he'll go over them with Bobby after the game.
Kalen Addison for Kaiser. Gets his pocket picked by Bobby Brink down the right wing side. Now, if you can believe it, Bobby Brink, no relation to current Wisconsin Badger Finn Brink, which you would think those two being within about a 3-year age span and both elite hockey players out of the Metro, there'd be some sort of relation, but negative.
Negative. They get asked about it 1,000 times a day, though.
Schalowski for Bolby. Blocker save made by Miska. Boy, has he ever been solid in goal for Anderson, making himself an early player of the game. Guy to watch as Novak works it around town. Do not ask me about Tommy Novak between the years 2011 and 2013. He did some dangerous things to my teams at the XL Energy Center, things for which I still have not forgiven him, but there's no denying he is one heck of a hockey player to watch.
Boy, he was watching him in high school. I don't know if I've ever seen a more purely skilled high school hockey player than Tommy Novak.
He settles down a return feed from Bowlby, can't get a shot off. Anderson will work back the other way. Kalen Addison pitch and catch, and the return feed back to Addison goes too far as he shoots that one on from a sharp angle. This one played up for Novak. He's got Chesley bearing it on him. Becker there to support, flips it up for Bowlby. Backhand shot, another save made by Miska. Corbett with it back for Garrett Shifsky. Into the slot, and a blocker save made on the other end by Groznik. Shifsky again gets to the dirty area. Shoulder save made by Groznik, as both goalies now have really tightened up here in the later third of the first.
Well, that is exactly what the fans paid to get in to see. They want to see a goaltending battle.
This one worked around. Element looking for their second goal of the game. The first one coming from Dennis Schalowski, as Ben Myers will play it up high.
Did you hear that?
Spinorama move.
Did you hear that toddler crying?
Can't say I did.
In the bleachers, there's a toddler crying, and I think it's because there aren't enough goals being scored.
Mac Byers into the middle for Ben Myers, and that one goes wide. Boy, Anderson, it's not just Miska in goal. They're playing some good, solid team defense right now. It's Shifsky and Chesley back. That might have been offside. Jim Carroll not in position to call it, but we'll let it slide. He's got a great voice. This one intercepted. Mac Byers rips that one high. Matt Anderson collects it. Travis Boyd falling to his knees, but gets it for Toninato. It's a one-on-one. Goes through the legs on Schalowski. And now centers for Vesel. Breakout pass. It's Derek Forbert, the captain of this Element team. Nearly got it past Miska, as that one rattled around in the wickets for a little bit, but able to keep it out and hold Element largely without any sort of offense here in the last 10 minutes or so. Brink, backhand shot from Forbert, another save. Miska, he's got to be up to about 15 at this point.
15, which is a pretty good number for the first half of a Deputy League game. Fun fact about Hunter Miska, if memory serves, I believe his father Todd designs artwork for NHL goaltender masks.
Boy, Toninato had a great day there. Now here's Novak working back with Kaiser on him, and the save made again by Miska. Schalowski will intercept the Toninato feed. Bobby Brink, backhand ahead, taken by Corbett. 5 and change to go here in the first half between Anderson and Element. Give and go for Chesley. Works it out front, tried to leave it behind on the backhand, but able to sniff that one out as Groznik.
I wonder if some frustration might be seeping in for Element. I mean, I know it's July, but these guys fight over dinner checks. They fight over parking spaces. I can't imagine not being able to muster any offense is sitting very well on that bench.
Shifsky tried to get it through for Corbett. It was broken up by Anderson. And now a breakaway look again for Ben Myers. He missed on the first one. Can he connect? He does.
There it is.
Backhand goal, Ben Myers. And Element back within one. It's 3-2.
There it is. Hashtag Team Element. Ben Myers is our mascot, at least for the time being.
Take a look at the replay here. Got him to bite on the forehand shot. Drops that backhand shot in. And it is 3-2 Anderson here. 4 to go in the first. Bowlby centers, and that one just gets lodged in the crease. We'll have a face-off here in the waning moments of the first. Face-off is won by Myers. Pavlshev and Anderson play a little pitch and catch. Bolby at the left wing half wall, works it down low. Thought he might wrap it around, but instead he finds Matt Anderson, an Element with back-to-back goals in less than a minute. It is tied up at 3.
Say nay now, naysayers. We got a tie game.
Element with back-to-back goals, 3:15 to go here in the first. Matt Anderson put that one home. The Shakopee, Minnesota native, two-time NCAA champion, both coming with the UMD Bulldogs in 2018 and 2019. Looking to lift the John Scott Cup this year, add that to an already impressive career he's built. As Bolby sets up behind the cage of Grosnick. Up the left wing side, Pavlshev centers. Miska able to seal the post and keep that one out. Now it's Bolby in the high slot onto his backhand. He'll peel it out. And to the right circle for Myers. His shot through traffic might have hit his own man on the way in. Losing his stick in the process was Wyatt Kaiser, but it's no harm, no foul. Still tied at 3.
I am loving this right now. A tight game, nail biter. I know we have 25 minutes to go, but it feels like we're on the cusp of something dramatic.
In a tight game like this, the Dick's House of Sport double puck comes into play even more. We'll see how the teams opt to use it later. I almost thought in the last game Tria waited too long. You want that to be a momentum spurner, not a last resort.
Well, I thought every time that coach stood up and was waving his arms, I thought he was calling for the hot puck, and he did it 4 or 5 minutes into the game, and I was kind of excited. I thought, ooh, a little bold move here. But no, he was just trying to change the score on the scoreboard.
Travis Boyd got a nice shot there and was cheating a little bit on the face-off. Element wins the draw. Tommy Novak with it. Still scoreless, buried 18 times last year for the Nashville Predators. Have a feeling he's going to find the back of the net before this night is over, as this one hops up out of play as we eclipse 1 minute remaining here in the first period. How nice is it to have Adam Abrams here, by the way? PA voice of the Minnesota Wild, bringing his talents to Braemar Arena. Really lighting this place up.
You know, I thoroughly enjoy Adam's voice. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, though. Every time I go to a Wild game, my dreams, not nightmares, feature Adam's voice. Very pleasant sleeping experience.
Also does work for the Minnesota Twins, who are out of town, playing the back end of a doubleheader with the Chicago White Sox right now. Boys are playing some ball, as they say. Forbert will backhand this one to the near side. And Novak puts it down low. Across the crease, Miska dislodged the net there for a moment, gets it back on. Novak, in the waiting moment, scores! Well, I'm not going to say I called it, but there you have it. Tommy Novak with the goal as we head to break. It is 4-3 Element.
Boy, that goal was purely predatorial, if I do say so myself.
Tommy Novak finds the back of the net. We have reached halftime, and down at ice level with Anna Baining is Tyler Vesel. And we will take there now. Anna Baining with Tyler Vesel.
With Tyler Vesel from Team Anderson, and it's first night of the Beauty League. How's it going? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good to see the crowd back and see everybody back on the ice. It's first time a lot of guys are skating in the summer, so it's good to have everybody out and get the legs going.
And have you played in the Beauty League before?
Yeah, I've played for like 4 or 5 seasons now. Different teams, different players. It's cool to kind of get to meet everybody and be a part of it.
Yeah, and we're in the off season now, and I hear that you had a pretty exciting trip to Florida a couple weeks ago. What happened in Florida?
Yeah, I got engaged to my Swedish fiance now. I met her over in Sweden where I've been playing the past 5 years, so it was an exciting trip and an exciting start to the summer.
Well, congratulations, Tyler, and good luck in this second half.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Anna. Tyler Vesel. We thank him for his time at the half. It is time for some promotional messaging. First, for Element, they're in the lead. They get the first read. Element Electronics started with a simple belief that every home should have access to televisions with the latest technology. Element is the only major television company to assemble products in the U.S. The company's Winsboro, South Carolina factory assembles millions of TVs each year. Element proudly offers high-technology products at the most accessible prices, all while providing award-winning comprehensive customer service. For more information, visit elementelectronics.com. Element Electronics, bring it home. Anderson Group Incorporated is a holding company that specializes in acquiring businesses in the construction industry. They aim to acquire synergistic companies with strong leadership, solid reputations, and high potential for growth, staying true to their motto, building on your good name. Back to action here, Element with the puck deep in the zone. Ben Myers works it into the corner, Forbert up high. Vesel springs Boyd. He's got some space. Boyd down low and a save made there by Grosnick. Able to get the glove up and get a piece of that one. Forbert for Myers. Back for Brink. Puts it home. Boy, Hunter Miska just kind of pushed every button on the controller there and hoped that something good would happen. It didn't.
Hunter Miska is one of those guys, if you play a boxing game like Roy Jones Fight Night, he just hits X over and over and over and over and over again. You can't do anything about it. They're the most frustrating people to play boxing video games with.
So Bobby Brink finds the back of the net. It is a 2-goal lead for Element. Back the other way, Jack Becker looking to get one back. Unable to do so. 22 minutes to play here from Braemar, 5-3. Element, as Bobby Brink gets the first goal of the second half. Had 11 last year for Philadelphia. Just earned himself a nice 2-year extension with the Flyers. Has quickly become a mainstay there in Philly after his second-round selection in 2019.
Well, and a couple of people that I've talked to, they tell me that Philly loves Bobby Brink. 2 years, it's not exactly a 7-year max extension, but they like him enough to keep him around for at least 2 more seasons.
Corbett with it. Now, Peter, I got to ask you.
Hit me.
If you could pick any NHL team to be drafted to tomorrow, who are you picking? And no, you cannot say the Wild.
Oh, jeez. Boston.
Care to elaborate?
Sick colors, sick town. Seafood.
Fair point.
Those seem like 3 good reasons to me. What about you?
That is a tough one as Addison works it around the cage. And by calling the action, I'm buying myself a little more time because I really don't know. Boy, I might have to go Chicago Blackhawks. Kalen Addison gets inside. The save is made. Grosnick there. No, the Blackhawks United Center gets to play with Bedsy. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Well, watching Kalen Addison, I can't help but think that San Jose would actually be a nice place to play hockey. You're in if you make a certain amount of money, California is great.
I would, if I was going to a California team, I think I'd prefer the Kings.
Really?
Yeah. Big market. I mean, you're probably the 5th or 6th biggest team there, but LA is LA, baby.
Well, San Jose leads the nation in Old Navy stores per capita.
Toninato with it in the right wing corner. Down low, too far for Kaiser. Shifsky has it. Kaiser swings it around for Toninato again. 19.5 to play. Left circle, across the crease. Kalen Addison's backhand shot goes wide as Grosnick once again gets the net off of its moorings. We'll pull it back on and we play on.
But he fixes it himself. Anderson might want to look at hiring him. He seems like a guy who's big on DIY projects.
Derek Forbert holds the zone. Mac Byers with it, left wing side. Save made, Miska, rebound out in front. Jabbing at it 4 or 5 times and unable to get a good look there is Bobby Brink. Shifsky in the corner. Backhand out to Addison. Puts a move into the slot. Now a shot on, rebound chance for Addison out front. Puck comes to the point for Shifsky, finds Kaiser left side. It's Hananato at the point. Travis Boyd, again, signed a 1-year deal with Minnesota, so Wild fans here in attendance are getting an early look at a guy who is going to fill a nice role for the hometown team this season.
Travis Boyd, also the first guy that we've seen tonight dive for a puck.
I mean, that's what the Wild signed him to do. Get in the dirty areas, get gritty, be that kind of third, fourth line grinder role. And he's doing that here in the Beauty League. John Scott would be proud. Forbert in the corner. Spinning pass for Schalowski, score.
Well, that was pretty.
Great find right there. And Schalowski gets his second of the night. Element stretches their lead at 6-3.
Yeah, don't look now, people on the internet, but Element holding a 3-goal lead.
17 and a half to play. As Element looks to get back to the well here, Myers with it up high. You have to think that at some point Anderson is going to think about triggering the hot puck.
I would assume so. They have enough coaches on the bench to make that decision. It looks like they have 4 bodies down there, including 2 who don't look old enough to see a PG-13 movie. Maybe they'll convince the head coach to pull the trigger early.
Far corner now. Anderson looking to get this one back within 2. Vesel right out front. And Groznik is able to seal the post there. Keep him out. 16:40 and counting to go here from Braemar Arena.
Well, it's somebody's birthday tonight. Happy birthday, whoever that was. Good for you.
Corbett with it. Chesley gets it up ahead. Ben Myers breaking in. Nice play on the back check there from Corbett to lift the stick.
Right now I'm just waiting for Pavlichev to steal the puck. Then you could recreate one of the greatest play-by-play moments of all time.
Ben Myers has a half step here. Myers scores! Ben Myers, his second of the game. And Element pouring it on. The extra point is good. And it's Element 7, Anderson 3.
Anderson might want to call timeout here. Big Mo all on the side of Element right now.
Yeah, Peter, I don't know if timeouts are allowed.
Are they not allowed?
We got to keep the game moving.
What? No, you got to call a timeout.
You want a timeout, break a pane of glass. It's about the only way here.
Don't give them any ideas.
What was it, Rochester Century that pulled that off this year?
It was. You know, all the magic of Minnesota high school hockey, and the most viral moment is a gosh dang pane of glass falling apart.
Centering look out front as Pavlichev can't get it to go. Bolby, one-time look for Mac Byers, and that one goes up and out of play. Boy, now that we're talking about high school hockey, we're here in the rink where Chanhassen took down Minnetonka in the Section 2 finals. What a game that was, eh?
I don't remember if I was here or not.
A real
It was so long ago.
David and Goliath story. Minnetonka with Division I commits in the double digits. Chanhassen, a team that had never made the state tournament, and Chanhassen pulled it off, rode that magic all the way to a state final appearance, as this one is covered up by Groznik. But, of course, the team they lost to is the team that is hosting us here, the Edina Hornets.
Hold on, did you just call Chanhassen David? In terms of David and Goliath, didn't they have 5 Division I commits, ranked second in the state for most of the year?
I do agree that some of the narratives around that game are a little overblown, but I'm still going to call that David and Goliath. That was pretty big.
They might have been the underdog, but they had more than a slingshot. That's what David had, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give him like a boomerang or something. Something a little more upgraded, but still pretty Neanderthal.
Boomerang's not a weapon, though.
It is if you use it right. Shifsky for Addison. Left corner for Kaiser. Up high, harassed by Bolby. Back down for Kaiser. Centering pass, Shifsky. Can hold on. Now Element with numbers working back. Mac Byers left wing side. Drop pass Anderson. Byers Anderson. Pad save made by Miska. Now it's Anderson sprung back the other way. Shifsky for Kaiser. Couldn't get a second hand on the stick as he had Matt Anderson all over him that time. Now Kaiser gets his pocket picked. It's a 3-on-1. Chalowski down low for Brink. And a save made by Miska once again. Under 13 to play here from Braemar. 7-3 your score. Element over Anderson as Element proving all of the naysayers wrong. Well on their way to their first win of the season.
I got a feeling we're going to see the hot puck here within the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Chesley for Shifsky. Couple of the Big Ten's best. As Ben Myers breaks it up and gets it for Brink. Return feed taken by Forbert. Down low for Brink, stripped by Corbett. And Element will set up here. Pass finds a cutting Bobby Brink into the corner. Backhands it out front for Derek Forbert. That one is intercepted and taken by Corbett back. Shifsky, left side. Finds Toninato, stick save made by Groznik. Just got the knob on that one. Element with it, Chalowski for Forbert. Boy, I think Forbert just trying to make the extra pass a little bit too much. He had a good shooting lane there. Opted to send it into the corner, and they have to reset.
Well, he's a veteran. He might want to give some of the younger guys a chance to shoot the puck. That's what being a leader is all about.
Novak, fresh off the bench, a loud pad save there from Hunter Miska, and it kicks all the way out into neutral ice where it's gathered by Travis Boyd.
Oh, that
Filthy
was nice.
Move there from Pavlshev. Centering look, and Matt Anderson can't put it home. This one is deflected up into the air. Comes down to find Boyd, and able to slide across and make the save is Groznik. Boyd with it up high. We're going to get a whistle.
But why?
And it looks like Travis Boyd may have been, maybe the net was off. I was going to say Boyd was a little slumped over on the bench.
Oh, no, don't say that.
As we take a look at the replay here on the Boyd breakaway. Boy, it was a really pretty move. I mean, faked the forehand, went to the backhand, a little dipsy-doodle magic there to get it back, but unable to put it home. And we remain in a 4-goal game here, 10:15 to go from Braemar. Neither team has used their double puck opportunity. And as time continues to tick down, dare I say we get a double puck eclipse where both teams use their double puck at the same time.
See, here's the question nobody's asking. If your team is up and there's no hot puck going on and someone scores a hat trick, could you throw hats on the ice to keep the clock running and protect the lead? Am I crazy?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Pavlshev back, finds Novak on the far side. Novak to the forehand, save made by Miska. Vesel with it up ahead, Kaiser. 9.5 to play here. It is a 4-goal hill to climb for Anderson. Again, the hot puck is in play for both sides. Here's the 6'7" Pavlshev. Drops it off for Byers. That shot deflected up into the ceiling, and we will pause. Well, don't go anywhere, folks. After this, we have the women's contest, Tradition Mortgage and Tradition Capital, a game that's chock full with Olympians, PWHL stars, NCAA stars. Really not much more you could ask for. That's coming up right after this on the Beauty League YouTube. Chalowski for Myers. Element is content to play the possession game here with less than 9 to go. As Toninato will take it down the left wing side. To the near side, Shifsky. Forbert. Across. Save made, nearly deflected off the skate of Corbett and back into the net, but it goes wide. Now a breakaway look back the other way. Toninato! Save made by Grosnick. Boy, has he ever been solid in goal for Element tonight. Still just the 3 goals allowed and keeping this high-powered Anderson offense at bay. Chalowski for Bolby down low. And Miska will opt to keep that one alive. I tell you what, Peter, Anderson scored all 3 of their goals in the first 10-ish minutes of this game. They are on a very, very long scoreless drought right now.
That's our strategy. As Team Element's #1 fan, that is exactly what we try to do every game. We try to give our all, make the right plays, stay tight defensively. That's what we do.
Garrett Shifsky will send this one the length of the ice. Icing is waved as Grosnick plays it from inside the trapezoid. Now it's Corbett. 7:15 to go. Bolby with it back. Has a half step. Corbett eases up. Bolby, save is made by Miska, and we play on. Travis Boyd cuts into the middle. Backhand for Vezel. When will we see the hot puck alarm set off?
Do you think the coaches know that they have
Anderson?
the hot puck?
Well, I'm sure they've been familiarized.
I
Oh,
hope
now
so.
we have it on for Element. Element is putting the hot puck on.
I love it.
Addison with it as a fan begs them to put the hot puck in. That's what they're working on. Addison's shot is a glove save made by Grosnick.
I love the aggressive play. This is just like going for it on 4th and 25.
So the clock will stop with 6:18 to go here in the second half. 1:40 remaining on the hot puck for Element. And after that, we presume that Anderson will take their time with that one. Miska gets cute with it, plays it off the stick to himself. His stretch pass intended for Jack Becker broken up. Pavlshev will be the first one on it for Element. Drop pass Novak, sticked away by Miska. Novak and Vezel in the corner. Pavlshev to the right circle. Intercepted.
Oh, nice pass.
Now Vezel in all alone. Vezel goes wide. Tried to go to the glove side of Grosnick. Gets it back. Here's Becker, and that is another glove save made by Troy Grosnick. Boy, Minnesota Wild fans get excited for this guy. Might have been signed to play for Iowa, but if he keeps this pace of play up, he might find himself in St. Paul.
Well, Wild management is almost certainly in the building.
Toninato, centering look for Chesley. That one goes high. Anderson starting to buzz a little bit here. 30 seconds remaining on the Element hot puck. Beautiful move, Novak! Oh! It's loose out front and they clear.
Inches away, Tommy.
Jack Becker with it. 7-3, 4:48 to go here in the second. 10 seconds remaining of hot puck time for Element. And then it is time to get for Anderson. As these sands of time tick away here.
The
Mac
sands
Myers
of time.
close in. Shifsky.
What are you, 97 years old? The sands of time.
Again, no more hot puck for Element. Their opportunity has been exhausted. And with an offensive zone draw here for Anderson, have to imagine they're going to put it on here as soon as this one's put into play.
I got to be honest, Will, as Element's #1 fan, I do not feel good about this.
We'll keep an eye on the bench. Still yet to trigger it as Kaiser walks the blue line. Corbett is stripped of the puck by Myers. Tries to flip it up ahead for Byers. And it's Corbett with it. Toninato kicks it off his skate. Corbett centers, tried to find Shifsky. It bounced off Kaiser up to the point, Toninato. That pass is broken up. Myers back, left side. 3:25 to play. Anderson off the post. 3:20 to go now. Anderson between the dashes, backhand goes wide. Still no sign of the Dick's House of Sport double puck light being flipped. We'll keep an eye on that. Pretty much have to do it before the 2-minute mark or you would be wasting some time. Kalen Addison, I see a hand on the switch down at the bench.
He's got his hand on the trigger.
As Tommy Novak leaks behind the defense, Novak scores!
Yes, yes.
Tommy Novak, his second of the night, a huge insurance goal, as with the hot puck, it would have been effectively a 2-goal game, but now it goes up to be a 3-score game, and Anderson just might have waited too long to trigger the hot puck.
He knows he's got to press the button, right?
Novak breaking in, looking for the hat trick. Now 2:15 to go. And again, anything beyond 2 minutes would be wasted time. This one sent out front. Perhaps this is strategies waiting.
It's going to be at the 2-minute mark, and they're going to pull the
Put it
goalie.
on. They pull the goalie, they score!
That's only one. That's only one. No way. No, that's one.
1:57 to go. A hot puck goal scored by Anderson. And it is now once again a 2-score game.
They gave him the twofer. They gave him the twofer, and you know what?
Garrett Shifsky with his second of the night. It counts for 2. It is 8-5. Element here late. Anderson smells blood in the water as Miska goes to the bench. He's out of his net. Kalen Addison will cycle through. Anderson playing with some pace here. Travis Boyd up high, works inside. Glove save made. Grosnick keeps it alive. Are we going to get a goalie goal? No, we're not. Couldn't get enough air under it. Vezel will regain. Pad save made. Rebound chance. Boyd pokes at it. Kaiser up high. Poked away. Down the right side, an empty net goal for Element. But dare I say, this game's still not over as it remains a 2-score game with the hot puck. Bobby Brink, his second of the night. It's an empty netter. So Bobby Brink, second of the night. It's an empty netter. The hot puck remains in effect for Anderson. Hunter Miska remains on the bench. And now this one's turned over. Forbert ahead. Anderson unable to keep the puck in their possession. And Ben Myers with an empty net goal.
Clutch.
It is a hat trick for Ben Myers, and that will just about do it. It makes it a 3-score game with less than a minute to go. And Element is going to hold on and take this one. So it'll be Element and Walser with the wins in the men's division. Those teams move to 1-0. Tria and Anderson will be 0-1 after 1 week.
Will, the haters are furious right now. Everyone said Element couldn't do it, and look at that. Double digits on the board. 1-0, tied for first in Deputy League. This doesn't get any sweeter.
Becker sent that one on. A blocker save made by Grosnick. Pass for Chesley goes too far. 10 seconds to go now. Ben Myers looking for a fourth. And I don't know if Anderson's going to take too kindly to that empty net shot. Go let him slide. Your final is 10-5. Element takes down Anderson. And they move to 1-0. Troy Grosnick, your player of the game for Element, the newly signed Iowa Wild goaltender. He will sign a player of the game puck and toss it up to a lucky fan here in attendance. Peter, Troy Grosnick, guy's legit.
Am I eligible to catch the player of the game puck?
I don't think he'd throw it up that far.
Well, I think Troy could pretty much do anything.
Well, we'll see here. He's going to skate his way to the near side after some pleasantries exchanged with Jim Carroll.
That'd be
And
bad
here
form
he
if I
goes to
snagged the
sign
puck.
this. And we have our TV announcement as well. And here is Grosnick going to toss it up.
What a throw. What
Flips
a throw.
it up over the glass, makes his exit into the shadows here at Braemar Arena as the men's portion of our evening has concluded. But don't go anywhere, folks. We've got a great, great women's game for you coming up. It's Tradition Capital and Tradition Mortgage, the first in what is sure to be a exhilarating 10-week rivalry here at the Beauty League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Well, it's game 3 of night 1 here at Beauty League. We have an all-female matchup. It is Tradition Capital and Tradition Mortgage. Capital in the white, Mortgage in the maroon. Hello and welcome back inside Braemar Arena. Will Peterson alongside Peter Odney. Anna Baining will join us at ice level a little bit later on. Peter, an all-women's matchup here. A lot of PWHL talent, a lot of PWHL champions. What are you looking forward to in this one?
I got to be honest, Will, I feel a little nostalgic right now. I've been covering girls high school hockey as a primary coverage spot for almost a decade, and so many of these players have come through the Minnesota high school hockey scene. It is so freaking cool to see players like Ella Berger, Jamie Nelson, Olivia Mobley, Ella Housey, Grace Zoomwinkle. It is so much fun to see them on a stage like this, and finally the women are getting their due in the Beauty League.
Well, the puck has dropped. We are underway. Tradition Capital will skate from left to right in the white jerseys. And in goal for them, number 1, Skylar Vetter. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about her as the broadcast goes on. She is quite the story for reasons we will elaborate on later. And for Tradition Mortgage, they will skate from right to left in maroon. In goal for them, number 1, Nicole Hensley.
PWHL champion, Nicole Hensley.
Indeed. Over the line, Emily Brown with it. Left wing side, she's bumped into the corner by Madeline Wethington. Not only a lot of PWHL talent, so many Gophers. They're everywhere. We thought we saw a lot in the first 2 men's games, but boy.
Well, it feels like they might have gone through a few old Gopher rosters and simply circled everybody that they had a cell phone number for. Really excited to watch some of these Golden Gophers.
Out to center, there's Claire Buterak. She works her way inside. Save made by Nicole Hensley, who will cover up. Peter, as you said, Nicole Hensley, a PWHL champion. She went 7-7 with a 2.19 goals against and a .919 save percentage for the PWHL champions Minnesota. Just the latest in a long string of accolades for one of the best female goaltenders in the world.
Boy, her LinkedIn, if she had a hockey LinkedIn, would be filled with whatever those, like, what do they call endorsements? When people say, hey, you can do this thing, she would be filled with endorsements if there was a hockey LinkedIn.
You know, Peter, you actually just described a very real thing that's called Elite Prospects, and they do have endorsements on there.
Yeah, but LinkedIn doesn't crash my computer. Elite Prospects sends my computer into a tailspin. I love them. Don't get me wrong. They help put me to sleep at night. But my computer starts whirring, and it feels like I'm watching Twister.
Madeline Wethington down the left wing side, out there with her sister Audrey. And a beautiful move, Kelly Panic. Wow.
From the Now Prospects Combine to the Beauty League, Kelly Panic. Fortunate enough to have her come in and talk to some of our players on the U's campus today. And she is still on fire after a great interview scoring the first goal.
Kelly Panic, 4 bingos last year for the PWHL Minnesota. And she has the first goal of the season for Tradition Mortgage. And it is 1-0 for Maroon. Madeline Wethington into the corner. Wethington holds it at the left point. Working through her is Emily Brown. She's got some space down the right wing side. Tough angle to the net, but she gets there and gets a shot off. And Hensley's able to slide over.
Small world. Emily Brown was described to me by somebody who's known her since they were children through church as the nicest person in the whole world.
Emily Brown, Blaine, Minnesota native, and to build onto her case as what you said, the nicest person in the world, she was the 2017 Minnesota State Herb Brooks Award recipient, a award historically given for high character, high sportsmanship, definitely an upstanding citizen of the great state of Minnesota.
If you ever want to hear a coach wax poetic about their favorite player, talk to former Blaine coach Steve Geider about Emily Brown. Hours will fly by.
Puck is sent up to the right-hand side, unable to hold the zone that time is Olivia Mobley. And now working into the corner is Zumwinkle. Maroon with control. To the line, Gilday. Pitch and catch back and forth. Zumwinkle with it again. Grace Zumwinkle working it down on her forehand. That shot goes wide. And it comes out to center. Mortgage will retain control here. Zumwinkle, a one-time look. That hit a skate on the way in. I think it was Nikki Nightingale getting a piece of that one. And it'll be pulled out and controlled by Jamie Nelson, the Minnesota State Mankato Maverick. Up the right side, Lee Steckline. Nelson turns and fires that one into the pad of Nicole Hensley.
Lee Steckline, one in a long, long line of former Roseville Raiders that have made their mark on women's hockey, dating all the way back to Rhonda and Renee Curtin, Winnie Brote-Brown. Lee Steckline certainly on that Mount Rushmore.
Without looking at your notes, Peter, as this one is sent across the crease, how many world championships does Lee Steckline have to her name?
50,000. If I had to guess, I would say 3.
You're off by a factor of 2. She has 6 world championships.
Wow, good for me. That was closer than I thought. I wonder where she keeps all those world championship rings.
She's got one for each finger on one hand, and she's starting a collection on the right. Truly, truly something. One of the more decorated female players of recent memory, as this one is passed into the slot. Olivia Mobley has that shot saved. Back up high, Barine looking to get it down low. Gilday deflects it away. And it'll be taken there by Liz Shepherds. They go to work for it in the right corner. Nightingale up high.
Boy, it looks like the women honestly might be playing a little harder than the men earlier tonight. The passes are crisper. The back checking is a little more spirited.
Now we do have a roster update for you. Skylar Vetter is actually in goal for Team Maroon, so they have pulled a last-minute little switcheroo on us.
It's my favorite magic trick.
Skylar Vetter is in goal for Maroon, and Nicole Hensley in goal for Tradition Capital. And now that you look back out at the scene, it does make sense considering the colored gear that they are wearing. Quite frankly, a little disappointed that we did not catch that earlier. But once again, it is Hensley in goal for Tradition Capital and Vetter in goal for Mortgage.
Well, no one ever accused us of being good at this job.
16 to play here from Braemar. It's 1-0. Mortgage over Capital. Again, both teams are sponsored by Tradition, and it is a good time to tell you that Tradition is a family of Minnesota-based companies working for good in our communities while connecting the dots for all of your land development, financial services, and home building needs. Learn more at traditionco.com. With over 100 years of business, Tradition takes pride in their people and projects. From land development to financial services and home building, they have a solution for you. Once again, learn more at traditionco.com. That's the beauty of having both teams sponsored by the same company. Only got to do one ad read.
Be a little bit like if Standard Oil took on Standard Railways.
You've aged me, Peter. I don't know what those things mean.
Look it up when you get home, right after you look at Elite Prospects.
I have done my time on Elite Prospects for the week, for the month, for the year, up until next week when we get to do it all over again. But that is the joy of the Beauty League, as Ella Berger lost control there momentarily. Now we got a 2-on-0 back the other way. It's Audrey Wethington with Lindsay. Lindsay to the backhand. A big save made by Nicole Hensley.
Ava Lindsay filling in tonight for Taylor Heisey. I'm sure she'll do so admirably. I'm not just saying that because I ran into her dad before the game.
Ava Lindsay, of course, a part of that Breck dynasty from 2018 to 2020, and then a lot of those key members transferring to Minnetonka for their later high school years. had a very, very nice freshman season at the University of Minnesota. 24 points for her for one of the nation's top women's teams. Expect her to make an even bigger leap into her sophomore season as Coach Brad Frost can start counting on her for more consistent production.
Brad Frost, fresh off back surgery. Congratulations, Brad. Hope your back doesn't hurt anymore.
Now that is news to me. What kind of back surgery was it?
I have no idea. It's just a little tidbit picked up around the rink.
Well, there you have it.
There are multiple types of back surgery.
Oh my goodness, yes. You're
Are
talking to the industry expert right here. Right wing side, here's Ava Lindsay. Working it out in front and losing control. Capital will work back up the right wing side. It's Buterick.
What a
They might have
pass.
been offsides there, but Barine is able to get just behind the line and unable to get a shot off out in front. Kelly Panic with it. Up the right side. Loses control. Capital with it once more, and the girls in white work back. Emily Brown into the slot. Drop pass back for Buterick. Up to the point. Steck line. Long shot. Rebound chance for Brown. And it's covered up by Skylar Vetter. 12 and counting to go here in the first. 1-0. Tradition Mortgage over Capital. It's the Beauty League Night 1, Game 3.
Well, you mentioned something about Skylar Vetter early in the broadcast. You said we'd find out later. Is it later yet? I'm on pins and
It's
needles.
later. Let's talk about it. Skylar Vetter, one of exceedingly few women's players in Minnesota to play goalie at the boys high school level. Not only did she play a full season in goal for Lakeville North in the COVID-shortened 2021, she started nearly every game and wore an A on her chest. She was voted an alternate captain. Really a great story, and then jumped right into the University of Minnesota and has put up 3 stellar seasons in a row. One of the top goaltenders in all of collegiate women's hockey, and someone that has been successful really everywhere she's gone. And I expect that once her time at the U of M has come to a close, we'll see her in the PWHL.
Well, Skylar Vetter, certainly a wonderful athlete. I remember watching her play for the Lakeville North Bantam AA team. And I think she played every minute in goal for that team, ended up being one of the best Bantam goaltenders in the state.
Capital with it up the left wing side. Sheppers, will dump that into the zone. I got confused with the ginger ale brand. That'll happen.
It's also the worst ginger ale brand.
Well, we can discuss that another time. I tend to disagree, but I digress. Bringing it around town is Zumwinkle. Bizal down low. Rims back around for Zumwinkle. This feels like as good a time as any to remind folks of the hot puck rules, as this one is poked around in the slot. Capital will get the clears. It's Mobley with it. Each team possesses one use of the Dick's House of Sport hot puck, and it can be triggered at any time from the bench. The benches are rigged with modified goal horns, so should the coach decide to light that up, that activates a 2-minute window. As working inside is Norcross. Nice save made in goal there by Hensley, but it triggers a 2-minute window where goals count as double for the team that used it. Can be extremely helpful late in a game where you're down by a few goals. Reduces the burden of getting back into it. Again, each team gets one of them. And we saw it used, I would say, not to the best of its abilities in the first 2 games. I feel like the coaches need to get back to the drawing board and maybe run some numbers, as here's Ava Lindsay at the left post, unable to get the shot off behind for Audrey Wethington. We also haven't had a real tight, 1-goal game. 1 goal could be the difference either way type of deal. Maybe this could be the one where we see the hot puck really make a mark.
Well, I'm sure at some point during the Beauty League season we will see an assistant coach holding an iPad, running numbers and probabilities and percentages to see when the best deployment of the hot puck could be.
Maybe that's what I'll do when I get home tonight, Peter.
Buy an iPad?
No, run some statistical models. Ava Lindsay over the line. Backhand pass out front. Can't get it through to Audrey Wethington. And Nelson will take over for Capital. Buterak. Oh, Lee Steckline rings the iron. Nice find there from Buterak. Steckline inches away from knotting this game up at 1, but it is still 1-0 Mortgage behind Kelly Panic's lone goal. Zumwinkle to the near side for Bazal. That one goes wide. 8.5 to play here in our first half. The third of 3 games here from Braemar Arena, night 1 of season 10 of the Beauty League. It is good to be back at the rink, like we mentioned at the start of our show. 16 days since the Florida Panthers lifted Lord Stanley's Cup. It is good to be back in the barn and watching some good high-level hockey here.
16 days. It feels like a lifetime ago. We've already been through the NHL draft. We've already gone through the opening stages of free agency. It makes you think that the Stanley Cup ended so much longer ago.
Madeline Wethington knifes her way through the defense, but unable to solve Nicole Hensley as she makes a glove save with some flair. And we'll get a face-off to her blocker side right here. I will say I think the overall compete level in the women's game is much, much higher than we saw in our first 2 contests, as there is another shot
I would
from
agree.
Madeline Wethington.
I would agree. And if my eyes don't deceive me, does it feel like the crowd has thinned out a little bit after the 2 men's games? Maybe a touch? And if so, that is incredibly disappointing because those people are missing out on the best game of the night.
Gilday with it down low. Backhand pass to the high slot, taken there by Panic. Tries to put a move on Barine, who gets a piece of it, but not enough to poke it up ahead and potentially get a good offensive chance off of it. Madeline Wethington will go back to get it for Mortgage. Under 7 to play here from Edina. Emily Brown pokes it back. Played near the Mortgage bench while they are in the midst of a change. Snodgrass behind. Works it all the way around to the right corner. To the right side for Brown. Between the dashes, Snodgrass. Pass to nobody in particular is intercepted. Mortgage will work back. Over the line, it's Housey. Drop for Zumwinkle. Shot and a tall save made by Hensley. I think that puck might have stunned her a little bit as she was knocked back by that wrister. As this one is deflected geometrically up ahead. Bazal will take over for Mortgage. Now Zumwinkle. Six minutes to play in the first. Zumwinkle shot, pad save made by Hensley.
This is becoming quite the workout for Nicole Hensley.
Here's Ella Berger. Sartell, Minnesota native, 2-time state champion with Andover, as that one is whiffed on by Snodgrass. Heads back to the bench dejected as she missed out on that scoring chance. Ava Lindsay works her way in. Into the zone with Audrey Wethington, knocked off the puck by Nelson. And now Gilday will go and get it for Mortgage. Talk about getting a workout in. Jim Carroll and his partner have reffed back-to-back-to-back games. And I know that DBL isn't exactly the most strenuous official job, but it's a lot of time on the ice, Peter.
Is that against union rules for a referee?
I've seen worse.
You've seen worse. Well, don't tell anybody about those worse outings. A shout out to our referees. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of the other referee outside of Jim Carroll, but they provide the most valuable service in the building outside of the players. We could play the game without coaches. We could play the game without fans. We could play the game certainly without you and I. We cannot play without referees.
Now back the other way, Audrey Wethington into the zone, tic-tac-toe, and that one, I think, went right through her skates. Boy, it was a nice sequence there, back and forth, passing with her sister Madeline, but unable to get the shot off, and unable to add to a 1-goal Mortgage lead. that is looking like it could last all the way into the break. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. Steckline, right corner. Ducks a shoulder, and I think she just tripped over the side of the net. Good to see her get up and okay. Last thing you want for any of these PWHL players is to suffer a non-contact injury in Beauty League, and maybe we'd have to reassess the league as a whole, but no harm, no foul as Housey lets that one go from up high, and a glove save is made by Hensley.
Absolute nightmare fuel for anybody involved with the PWHL or professional women's hockey overseas would be to see a player go down playing in a 4-on-4 summer league.
Now, Peter, I'm told that we are to expect PWHL team names to be released soon. Do you have any more information about that? No, anything else?
I do not. I don't have any more information about team names. As a company, we're fortunate to be fairly plugged into what is going on in the league and with PWHL Minnesota, but I wish I could. I wish I could give you an answer.
I feel like I saw something somewhat recently that in the coming weeks we would be getting team name announcements. Surely something that will only add to what was a historically good, just historically great opening season for the PWHL. Truly one of the premier, not just women's hockey offerings, but hockey period. It's great hockey. Of course, the home team here, Minnesota, taking home the inaugural Walter Cup Championship. As this is a breakout pass, Natalie Snodgrass played it a bit too aggressively there. Has a trickle into the corner, fires a pass up high for Mobley. And Ella Berger will collapse on that one as well.
Well, the difference between fans at PWHL games and fans at NHL games, you go to a Wild game, say, and this is through no fault of the Wild, but a good portion of the crowd I would describe as fairly corporate. You know, they get tickets through work or a friend or what have you. But if you go to a PWHL game in Minnesota, those are hardcore hockey fans that have been supporting women's hockey in this state since the Whitecaps were in their earliest stages. It is a real treat to watch a PWHL Minnesota game at the X.
Berger up high to the far side. Now an extra pass made. And that one hopped up off the stick of Natalie Snodgrass. And Mortgage will regain control. Nice stretch pass, finds Ava Lindsay, realizes she doesn't have numbers, so pulls it out, and leaves a nice drop pass there for Audrey Wethington. A minute 15 to go here in our first half. One-time look for Audrey Wethington, and a great glove save made, a sliding glove save made by Nicole Hensley.
I would be curious to see shots on goal, quite honestly.
No doubt. Less than 1 minute to go now. As we get ready to head into the break, a very abbreviated break here. Ava Lindsay working it around, finds Madeline Wethington to the far side now. Had Audrey Wethington on the back door, but again, unable to put it in. A little bit snake bitten here in this one. Housey up high for Bazal. That one hit Lindsay on the way in. Hensley will cover up. We'll get one more face-off and some brief action before heading into the half.
Well, I don't quite know what adjustments you could make at halftime. It's such a tight game. I don't know if either team is willing to give an inch, and I don't know if there are any particularly glaring holes that the opposing team could take advantage of.
Just been really solid hockey on both sides. Again, the lone goal was Kelly Panic early on for Mortgage. And unlike our first two men's games where we saw blow-up scores, even in the first half, it is a 1-0 Mortgage lead over Capital. And some good hockey being played in our final game of the evening here from Braemar Arena. Again, 1-0 Mortgage over Capital at the break. We have with us the wiggly talented Nicole Hensley, goaltender for Tradition Capital. Anna Baining is with her at ringside.
I'm here with Nicole Hensley, and Nicole, it's the first Beauty League women's game. What are the feelings like right now?
It's a lot of fun. It's good to see people I haven't seen in a while and just be back on the ice. I know we were all joking, take it easy on each other because nobody skated too much yet. So just kind of nice to knock the rust off and have fun.
We're in the off season now, so what does a typical day in the life look like for you?
Pretty much just going to the gym and going to the rink on some days and then walking my dog.
Yes, and I heard about your dog. What is this dog's name?
Kai is her name. She's a rescue from Coco's Heart.
You've been spending a lot of time with her, I'm assuming, in the off season now back at home.
Yeah, we're being pretty lazy, just hanging out on the couch and such. So it's been good.
Well, good luck in the rest of this game, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Anna. Great work all night long. As our ringside reporter here from Deputy League, we get ready for the second half between the Traditions, Capital and Mortgage. Here from Edina, Will Peterson, Peter Rodney, you just heard from Anna Baining. Adam Abrams downstairs on public address, a whole host of extremely talented folks behind the scenes working hard to make this all run smoothly. We thank them for all of their hard work continuously, and it's going to be a very, very fun summer here in Edina. Week 1 of this league that will run all the way through August 28th, I believe, is our final day. Looking forward to spending Wednesday nights at the rink here this summer.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Will. I never envisioned myself spending summers in Edina, but there are worse places.
Madeline Wethington, and I'm almost a little scared to say this online, I really don't mind Edina. I think all of the hate's a little overblown.
Is it the fact that there are multiple TGI Fridays?
Did not know that. Might have to hit one of them up after the game. Do love me some TGI Fridays, great appetizers. Left wing side, Panic with it. Still our only goal here today, the only one that has been able to solve. Nicole Hensley. This one played to the near side. Housey out front. Big chance out in front. Peyton Levis poking at it. And once again, Hensley denies entry. And we still remain in a one-goal game.
Peyton Levis, one of those Ohio State players that we're so fortunate to have up and down this roster. Maddie Bazal, her teammate with Tradition, also her teammate at Ohio State.
Up the right wing side, Snodgrass. Backhand shot from a sharp angle that time by Barine. And a shoulder save made by Skylar Vetter, who is still pitching a shutout in goal.
A little shoulder check action going on behind the Tradition net.
Some good physicality picking up here in our final game of the evening.
They want it.
Emily Brown makes her way into the zone. Grace Zumwinkle. Body laid there by Ella Berger. Initially going to the bench for a change was Brown, but she'll pop back out to defend this rush. And again, Mortgage with some good puck movement, but unable to add to their goal. Now here's a chance back the other way. This one is deflected up into the netting. Abby Barine was making her way inside, and it will hop up out of play.
Now with 20 minutes to go, I still expect some fireworks here, especially when we get to the Dick's House of Sport Hot Puck.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how each team chooses to utilize that. Again, this is our only game, at least to this point, where it really could be the difference one way or the other, even just with one goal. Because if Capital were to use their hot puck time right now, find the back of the net, they've got a one-goal lead.
Well, 20 minutes with running time. Are you going to get a chance to run over and grab a Maui Wowie before they close up the cabana?
Ooh. You know, Peter, that might have to be a treat for next week.
A treat for next week. I admire your discipline. I really do.
Although now that no, I can't do it.
You don't trust me doing play-by-play?
No, I can't abandon my post, Peter. Come on now. We'll get them next week. I do love a good Maui Wowie, but how can I miss out on this game? This has been incredible.
Well, you wouldn't have to miss out on it because the Maui Wowie's in the building. There are so many more reasons to go get a Maui Wowie than there aren't.
19 and counting to play here. Ava Lindsay up the right side wearing that gold helmet. Matches nicely with the maroon sweater. This one goes high, but another big carom off the end board here. We saw that in a game earlier where the puck came all the way back out. It led to a goal. Bazal sent that one to the right side. This shot is deflected up into the left corner. Nikki Nightingale with it. Up ahead, Jamie Nelson now playing without a skate down low is Kelly Panic. And now she will circle back around to pick it up. Nelson flips it up ahead. Gilday that time unable, or to check that, actually that's Steckline, who had a last minute number change, was listed as number 3, is wearing 22 this evening. And Capital will reset here, 18 and 10 to go in the second half. Sheppers drops for Nelson. Left side half wall. Levis will play it down low for Madeline Wethington. Now here's Zumwinkle looking to go coast to coast. Nice move through the defense, but just ended up a little bit too far from the net, so she'll pull it out. Gilday with another nice move there. Centering look, they score. Boy, what a beautiful play. Just some good team hockey being played right there. Gilday sent it out front. I think it was Peyton Levis who got a stick on it. And we will take a look at the replay here, but it is 2-0 Mortgage.
I know I have terrible vision, but did that go off the skate of a defender?
Gilday, I think it went off of the defender's stick.
Oh, no.
I think Buterak, and to be fair, she was tangled up there.
Oh, I'm sure Nicole Hensley won't hold that against her.
Rory Gilday credited with the goal. And boy, I tell you what, that was just a perfect tip. And it takes that kind of shot to beat Nicole Hensley, as there's another chance back the other way. Mortgage might smell some blood in the water here. Look to capitalize back the other way. Buterick out front, return pass. The net comes off. Vetter is going to drag it back on, but we will get a stoppage. It is 2-0 Mortgage. The goal credited to Gilday as it hit a stick out in front, and it gives Mortgage a 2-goal lead.
Well, and the biggest cheer of the night, all 3 games just went up when Grace Zumwinkle's name was mentioned along with PWHL Minnesota. Nice to see some of those fans making their way to Braemar.
Left wing half wall, Snodgrass with it, sends it up high for Steckline. Long shot, waffle boarded away. That time by Vetter. Again, still working on that shutout with 15 plus to go here in the second. Back the other way, Norcross into the zone. Her shot goes high. And Tradition Capital with it. Brown, harassed by Lindsay, leaves it behind Steckline. Brown up the left side over the line. Steckline trying to work through traffic. Madeline Wethington thought about exiting the zone, pulls out, gives it for Gilday. Now Lindsay. Left circle. Left point Gilday. Walks the line. Backhand down for Lindsay. Now she'll go to the far side for Maddie Wethington. Forced to bring it out of the zone. Good D there from Olivia Mobley. Audrey Wethington actually ended up nutmegging her sister Maddie, who leaves it for Lindsay.
Well, we were chatting about Jackson and Noah Cates and the ride home after this game. Maybe Audrey and And Maddie will have a conversation about that play on the way back.
Bizal up high through traffic. Audrey Wethington was out front to try to get a stick on it. Hensley sees it through traffic and makes the save.
Boy, she is just unsolvable. She's a goaltending Rubik's Cube outside of those 2 goals, one of which wasn't her fault because it went off a defender's stick.
The other, a real nice shot from Kelly Panic, who wins this draw back to Bizal, and that is automatic. Easy glove save there for Hensley.
Panic with some helpful words of encouragement, I'm assuming, for Bizal.
Bizal left side gets it down for Panic. Backhand pass across is intercepted. And Capital will make their way back. Berger, they managed to stay onside. Backhand pass across. And it's played the far side corner by Levis. 13.5 to go here in the second. Both teams still with their hot puck opportunity. Beautiful find, and Levis just sends it wide. Boy, Kelly Panic really making things happen here in this one. Perfect feed to Peyton Levis, who's unable to get the shot on goal. Now Maddie Wethington, her shot, stick save made by Hensley through traffic. Breakaway look back the other way, timed it perfectly. Sheppers, save made by Vetter. Rebound is gobbled up by Maddie Wethington, who will send this one geometrically a long ways. No icing called. Emily Brown will play it for Capital.
I like the no icing